Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Today, I wanted to talk about how to change your life 180 degrees. You might want to have a soulful relationship. You might want to make more money. You might want to um, change your career, so on and so. But you feel you're stuck. So, how do you change your life? First of all, there is a famous phrase. I think this is what Jim Rohn said. You are average of the four people you are hanging out with. Basically, if you're hanging out with people who gossip, talk shit about people all the time, you be the fifth one. If you hang out with, unhealthy alcohol drinking, smoking weed, drugs, you be the fifth one. If most of your friends are in a bad relationship, cheating, about to getting divorced, fighting all the time, you're gonna be the fifth one if you're in a relationship. On the other hand, if you hang out with people who are very healthy and exercise on a regular basis, very conscious, spiritual, eat healthy, you be the fifth one. And if you're surrounded by, very motivational, inspirational, positive people, you be the fifth one. So proximity is a power, as you know it, right? And just to give you one more thing, if you work at, if you work, um, let's say, if you're a boss, or if you work at some cubicle at the office space, and your next desk neighbor is overweight or have high stress and had the belly sticking out due to the cortisol level, high cortisol level, you will most likely get the same thing. Cortisol is contagious like getting a cold. So I just want to let you know that. And you might think, oh my God, I gotta change my life. What? Am I gotta change my work? That's true. It is true. So you gotta look around you and see what kind of people you are associating with. And it will be very difficult for you to change your life if you were surrounded, if you were hanging out with the same people, if you live in the same house that you grow up, unless you're taking care of your parents and your parents may be sick, I don't know. But because you're comfortable living there, that's a totally different story. That's what I'm talking about. If you're living in the same house, same city you grow up, born and raised, go to the same restaurant every Sunday, or something like that, hanging out with the same friends, and if you're trying to change, it might be, I'm not saying definitely, it might be very difficult. Like I said, proximity is a power, and you are average of four people you're hanging out with. You'll be the fifth one. So, how do you do that? How can you get out of it? Because, first of all, our brain is risk avert. So, any small change feels a risk, feels a threat. So, if you are trying to even tell your friends that, hey, I know that we were seeing each other every Sunday for the last 20 years, but I think I need to change that. I'm sure you have a better phrase. Um, that can be very scary. We are scared of the change sometimes, most of the times, even though you know that you get benefit from it. So, unknown is very scary. Trying to do something unknown is very scary, but that is also called a faith. Faith is not something that you go to church every Sunday. That's not called a faith. That's That's a habit. Not a habit, but that's a custom, right? So that's scary. I personally understand it because when I was 20 years old, I moved from Tokyo to the United States by myself. I didn't speak English. I didn't know anyone, literally no one. I didn't know anyone. But I knew that I had to move, not from the hometown that I grew up in, but actually the country. I had to move out of the country. Um, and one of the most important emotions that people forget, or people are quite surprised when I talk about this, you cannot change your life if you are tolerating your life. In other words, you have to feel disgust. You have to feel that enough is enough. You are sick and tired of. That's when the energy starts to shift. I am not saying that you have to stay in this feeling of disgusting or feeling of that anger all the time. That's very unhealthy. I am saying this, you have to use that energy to change your life. You must feel dislike what you are going through. Otherwise, you won't change. We were what we tolerate. We're not what we want. A lot of so-called people, law of attraction people said, oh, we manifest what we want. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. We tolerate everything, everything, not what we want. So, are you ready to really change? Do you feel absolutely disgust? So, sometimes when we are so sick and tired, let's say you were going through, like, the body weight challenge, you were maybe overweight, right? I don't know. And you are so sick and tired, you feel disgust, but you can't break the habit of overeating. You feel not motivated to do exercise, things that you're supposed to do. So I understand that. And you go back to familiar state, which is not exercise, eating the same junk food over and over again, right? And, saying excuses, oh, because I am, after 40, I'm going through perimenopause, which is true. I understand that. But if you are, if you have a hard time change and you are not surrounded by supporting group, you need to find that type of a support group. Like I said, proximity is power. So you gotta find someone or something that, um, here's the thing, you gotta find someone who went through what you're going through and achieved the goal that you want. Yeah? So you can find that through books, for instance. When I went through a so-called dark night of the soul, I felt like I didn't have any support. All I did was reading books, motivational, like listening, watching motivational speaking, um, audiobooks. Things that really helped me was one of them is um, the, Abraham Hicks' book. It's called Ask and It Is Given. I actually um, finished listening to the audio version yesterday. It's it's timeless, and I would highly recommend this book to everyone. if you wanted to learn the real deal about the law of attraction, this is the book. Another book that I would highly recommend is any books from Louise Hay. So Louise Hay is already passed, but she was a publisher called Hay House Publications. Any books from her is great, and she also mentions about she and Dr. Wayne Dyer. So Dr. Wayne Dyer also published many books through Hay House Publications, but Dr. Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay talk about any teaching of Abraham. Abraham Hicks is one of the best law of attraction teachings. I believe that, and also my one of the most favorite books that I've read over and over again is by Florence Scovel Shinn, and she was a mystic, and she has a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Great book. First time I read that book, the first page, I actually read, turn the page. I got goosebumps all over my body. The hairs standing on my neck. Is that the expression in English? I'm not sure. You know what I'm talking about. And as soon as I finished reading the whole book, I started the book again, reading it over and over again. So this is another book that I would highly recommend. U Squared, great book for the quantum leap. So there are so many teachers out there that teaches us how to change our life, how to face obstacles and improve our life. So books are amazing. So I don't want you to feel alone. And because there are so many great information is out there for you. And if you're watching this video, and if you're still watching this video, you are rare kind, and nothing is a coincidence in this world. So if you're watching this, I think you manifested me, right? Yeah. So those are the things that I could recommend. Change circumstances, change people you hang out with. Proximity is power. So if you don't have a support group, read a books, leaders or readers. That's true, right? And what else? I would say that you don't have to cut tie with everybody like a cold turkey. That's that's the energy of a little hostile. You don't want to do that, right? But it's okay to have a little bit of absent hanging out with people. And at that time, you read books, you watch or listen to the motivational speaking, go to workshops, seminars, you name it. And also, this is when people started looking at you in a different version. Okay, so if you want to change your life, but still hanging out with the same type of people, that collective consciousness is looking at you, that the collective consciousness is very powerful, right? Even though you wanted to change, but people looking at you a certain way, the person that they are familiar with. So from that energy field, it might be difficult for you to change. So have a little break from people you are associating with. Maybe you have a trip, by yourself, right? Or you go to retreat and you meet like-minded people, right? And maybe you have a little bit of money for you to, not permanently, but move out of the house for a little bit and change the energy. I've experienced something like that many, many times in the past. Um, when I moved in new apartment, this happened like, 20, maybe 15 years ago. I moved in this apartment. I really liked it, but then one of the residents, he was a little bit cuckoo, and uh, he was a little bit crazy, more than crazy, and I really didn't like it. But then I had an opportunity to visit my friend in San Francisco for 3 weeks. And after I came back from the trip, 3 weeks, he moved out. I did not expect that because he was living there for 10 plus years at that time. And its crazy thing is he moved to San Francisco. So when I moved back, he actually moved to San Francisco. And the landlord told me later that it was just crazy, you know, that life-changing opportunity happened for him and he had to move out. So, life, okay, the universe orchestrates life and events that our brain cannot comprehend sometimes, right? I I really wanted to change my life. Before I was working in the wellness industry, and I was working in the fashion industry and also marketing ad agency. It sounds very glamorous, but yeah, it was fun. It was fun for sure. But the one afternoon, I was bitching, moaning, complaining about one particular client from Japan, and I was telling my good friend of mine over coffee, and I said to her that I wish I would have stopped working with her. Okay. And I went home. And then I received an email from this client. Um, and I just didn't like the way she was emailing me, um, and I don't remember exactly what I wrote her, but probably was nasty because her reply was, you know what, Narumi? I think we should end our business contract. I manifested. So she was one of the biggest clients and the main source of my income. And I was like, holy cow, did I just manifest what I was bitching and moaning about a couple hours ago with my friend? She just said, I don't want to work with you, Narumi. So sometimes, you know, at the time, I was tolerating the situation, but sometimes I had this rage, like, oh, I don't just do not want to work with her. I was in between. When that happens, sometimes the universe pushes and change the circumstances, right? So it might happen. So sometimes it has to do with your astrological, you know, the planetary place that this is a destiny that you actually have to move forward, right? So that might happen. That might happen for you. So, luckily, at the time, she said she wanted to end the contract with me, but she also gave me 1 year notice. So I was able to actually establish the Ogawa method, my healing practice. So that is another sweet way of the universe supporting me. The universe always have our back. 120%, 1000%, absolutely. So sometimes, we were so worrying about how can I do this? How can I change my life? How can I move out this? How can I change my career? How is actually the universe's job. What we have to do is really we have to feel good of what we were achieving. Yes, I understand that I talk about like you have to feel disgust. I'm not saying that you have to stay in that emotion because that is very unhealthy, but you can use that anger, frustration, I think disgust, the word, the feeling of disgust is the most powerful way for you to change. Anyway, you have to feel disgust and use that energy, the feeling as leverage to change your life. Okay. And then most of the time, you have to feel good. You have to feel good of the future self. So this is something that you might have to learn how to do it. But I've done this many, 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 many times. To give you one more thing, I think this will inspire you. During the pandemic, in year 2020, many restaurants, spas are closing down. And that's when I got a whisper from in my ear or the universe, Narumi, you have to open your healing practice. And I was like, well, but everybody's closing. Doesn't make any sense. But I was very confident and I had no fear of, I wouldn't say no fear, like a little bit of fear, but I had almost certain that I'll be successful if I open and find the healing practice while everybody's closing. And within 3 weeks, I was able to find office space and restarting the Ogawa method. So sometimes we have to do things and really listen to what universe says. So sometimes that message and urge to do certain things look like things that usually other people say, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's too risky, right? And another thing is that if you want to change your life, I do not want you to share your dreams with the parents or friends that you've been hanging out with they have no idea of what you want to achieve. Bless their souls, and they might be give you unsolicited advices to help you stay where you are because they don't want you to change. Not because they hate you. No, it's not like that. But I don't want you to share your dreams with those people because they are going to most likely tell you that's impossible. But when people say that's impossible, that's their perspectives. So find someone who inspire you, um, and motivate you and support your dreams. And probably there will be new people. And if you don't know those people, just to keep it as a secret, and that secret is between you and yourself and the universe or God. So that's it. I hope this message was educational, inspirational for you. And I really wanted to make more videos like this. So if you like this type of video, I am not here to get more likes or anything like that. But if I did, that would be great. So that I know that this is the kind of message that universe want me to share. And I really wanted to share more about, how I can help you to change your life and make your life better, easier, more fun way. Because we're not here on this planet to suffer. Yeah, suffering comes with it, but we are here to experience the human experience, right? We are here to really enjoy our life we were here, we didn't come here to pay bills. That's for sure. That's part of it, but that's for sure. We're not here to work for someone 9 to 5. Maybe you like it, but you know what I'm talking about. Pay bills, stuck in traffic every day from Monday through Friday. And, you know, every Monday you so look forward to Friday night. You don't want a life like that, right? Um, every day should be celebration. And even when we face so-called obstacles or sad things, I wanted to help you to see that kind of things in a different perspectives. And I wanted to help you that the bad events or traumas are actually not that bad. And it actually helps us to be a better person, enjoy life. So I wanted to help people how to, like, when you change your old story, your past story, how you see that story, and to change the perspectives of that old story, whether it's a trauma, right, or bad event, that's when we can change our life. So those are things that I wanted to share. And I'm sure I wanted to share more of that, but I think that's it for today. And I really appreciate if you leave a comment what you think about this type of content, and please share, subscribe this to just this channel, subscribe to this channel, and hit the like button. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.